Has the weight of the blue and white become too heavy for even our own? Are we, as Leafs Nation, so fervent, so passionate that the very intensity of our love for this team now actively deters the talent we desperately crave? Just when you thought the sting of Mitch Marner's departure and the relentless pursuit of top six forwards couldn't get any more complicated, a new, unsettling truth has emerged from the shadows. It's a revelation that cuts deep, challenging the very perception of what it means to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs, especially when you're one of their own. It forces us to ask, is the dream of playing for your hometown team now a burden too great for some to bear? The Toronto Maple Leafs, still reeling from a significant offseason shakeup, are in a relentless pursuit to bolster their scoring depth. General Manager Brad Treliving, a man under immense pressure to reshape this roster into a legitimate contender, has been tirelessly scouring both the free agent and trade markets. Yet, amidst this frantic search, a particularly poignant piece of news has surfaced, painting a stark picture of the unique challenges facing this storied franchise. According to a recent report, a Toronto-born unrestricted free agent, a player who could have been a natural fit, reportedly rejected the Leafs' overtures precisely because he didn't want to face the immense, unrelenting pressure of playing for his hometown team. The player in question is none other than Andrew Mangiapane. Before he ultimately signed a 2-year contract with a $3.6 million AAV with the Edmonton Oilers, the Maple Leafs had apparently come knocking on his door. But as Sportsnet's Nick Kypreos revealed, Mangiapane, a true Toronto kid, harbored significant reservations. Mangiapane is a Toronto kid. Last I heard was he was maybe a little concerned about playing in this market as a local, Kypreos stated, his words carrying the weight of an insider's understanding. This isn't just about a player choosing a different team. It's about a player actively avoiding the very environment that many dream of. It speaks volumes about the unique, almost suffocating intensity of the Toronto hockey landscape. The contrast in expectations for players in this market is stark, and it was brilliantly highlighted by Sam McKee during the discussion. He jumped in, expanding on the obvious difference between the roles and the crushing expectations that a player like Mangiapane would face versus, say, Michael Pezzetta, who recently signed a 2-year deal with the Leafs. Pezzetta, at best a fourth-line energy player, comes in with clear, manageable expectations. Don't mess up, throw a few hits, maybe drop the gloves, and occasionally deliver a passionate soundbite about loving the Toronto crowd. His role is defined, his pressure points minimal. Mangiapane, however, would have been thrust into a completely different stratosphere of scrutiny. Even as a potential third-line scoring threat, the expectations would have been immense. He would be expected to pot in at least 15 goals, contribute at both ends of the ice, and be a consistent, reliable offensive force. This isn't just about showing up. It's about performing night in and night out under the most unforgiving spotlight in the hockey world. The actual playing hockey part of playing hockey, as McKee aptly put it, carries a disproportionate weight when you're a local hero trying to deliver for a fan-base starved for success. Every missed shot, every defensive lapse, every quiet night would be magnified, dissected, and debated with a fervor unmatched anywhere else. Kypreos further elaborated on this unique phenomenon, underscoring a truth that many in the hockey world understand. We do know that Toronto, or even anywhere out west, playing in a Canadian market is not for everybody. This isn't a slight against the players. It's an acknowledgement of an undeniable reality. The passion of Canadian hockey fans, while a source of immense strength and unparalleled atmosphere, can also be a crushing burden. He drew a compelling parallel to Brock Boeser, a player in Vancouver who, despite the intense scrutiny of a Canadian market, possesses a rare mental fortitude. Brock Boeser, one of the reasons people in Vancouver are drawn to him is because he has a little bit of Nylander where nothing really bothers me. I'm going to try to shoot it in the net. If it doesn't go in the net, I get to try again tomorrow, Kypreos explained. This Nylander-esque ability to tune out the noise, to maintain an almost serene focus amidst the chaos, is a rare and invaluable trait. For players like Boeser, or indeed William Nylander, winning and playing well can certainly silence the critics, at least temporarily. But the underlying concern, the ever-present sword of Damocles, is that even a bad week, a brief slump, or a few quiet games can lead to immediate and relentless heckling from your own supporters. The line between passionate support and scathing criticism is razor thin in these markets, and it can be a brutal environment for those who aren't mentally impervious. It's a constant, suffocating pressure that few athletes are truly equipped to handle, especially when it comes from the very community you grew up in. Mangiapane apparently didn't even want to come close to dealing with that kind of psychological toll. He opted for a different path, choosing to go ride the coattails of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl to scoring an easy 20 or so goals. And while that statement might carry a hint of sarcasm, it's also a fair assessment of the situation. In Edmonton, Mangiapane will be a valuable secondary piece, a complementary player on a team with two of the greatest offensive talents in the game. The pressure on him to be the guy to carry the offensive load will be significantly less. He can contribute, play his game, and enjoy a level of relative anonymity that simply doesn't exist for a Toronto-born player in the Toronto Maple Leafs top 9. It's a rational decision for a player prioritizing his mental well-being and on-ice comfort, even if it's a bitter pill for Leafs fans to swallow. This revelation about Mangiapane's decision underscores the profound dilemma facing the Toronto Maple Leafs. They are still desperately looking for options to add a top 6 forward to their team, a player who can step in and provide immediate impact. But the free agency options are drying up faster than a summer puddle, leaving Treliving with a barren landscape. And to compound the problem, the Leafs don't have many valuable trade assets remaining, having already moved significant picks and prospects in previous attempts to bolster the roster. This isn't just a challenge, it's a strategic quagmire. How do you attract elite talent when the very market you play in, the very passion of your fan base, becomes a deterrent for some? The Mangiapane saga is a stark reminder that the Toronto Maple Leafs operate in a league of their own when it comes to pressure and scrutiny. It's a market that can elevate players to superstardom, but can also break them under the weight of expectation, particularly for hometown heroes. Brad Treliving's challenge isn't just about finding talent. It's about finding talent with the rare mental fortitude to thrive in this unique environment. It forces us to reflect. Are we, as fans, inadvertently creating a barrier to the very success we so desperately crave? The search for that elusive top 6 forward continues, but the pool of willing candidates, especially those with local ties, might be far shallower than we ever imagined. What do you make of Andrew Mangiapane's decision, Leafs Nation? Do you understand his reluctance? Or does it fuel your frustration? How do you think the Maple Leafs should navigate this unique challenge of attracting talent to hockey's most intense market? Share your thoughts, your theories, and your unwavering passion in the comments below. And if you're as invested in this team's journey as we are, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for all the latest insights and breaking news as the Leafs continue their relentless pursuit of a championship.